A very good morning to you. How you doing? Karibuni sana to your world this beautiful Monday. And it being a Monday, it's definitely Mindful Monday. My name is Mukali Mary.
And my name is Winnie Lubemba. I was just thinking, can we have that Nini as a ringtone?
Can we?
Senor,
Actually, that would be so dope.
That would be really
like
cool.
Like even those callback tunes.
Bass, that one.
That would be good.
Yes, that would be really good. But how are you? I hope you're well. It is Monday. Is it the last week of September?
Hey?
June, May,
darling.
The last week of May. September is Nini. It's just around the corner. No.
Okay.
But it's someone's birthday. Ooh. So, yeah. The last week of May. Okay. And the conversation today, I think it's in tune with what is happening here in the country and even just across the globe, where I think everybody is almost on survival mode. Okay. So I was thinking about it this morning. I'm like, at this point, what exactly does survival even mean?
Probably, like your life.
No.
Are you thriving?
Or are you
surviving? Is it paycheck to paycheck?
Yeah.
Are you feeling like there are things you used to afford or do? Maybe you're the kind of person who used to travel every month, but now you're not doing that. So survival mode, I think, is different for different people.
Because I feel almost all of us are actually in survival mode.
Survival mode.
Yeah, so I'm like, what exactly does that mean? And do we have some people who are like, me, I'm not surviving, me, I'm thriving? Like, I would really love to hear from you. But that is the conversation that we're having this morning, right here on Your World on Mindful Monday, and that is living on survival mode. And we're looking at how daily pressure and uncertainty are silently affecting mental well-being. And May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So this is a really timely conversation that we're having today.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to just understand or unpack it even more, because this particular survival mode now affects so many other things in your life, and you don't seem to connect them to you being in this particular state. But we'll get into that. But we have a question for you before we introduce the panel. The question we're asking you is, what does peace of mind mean to you right now? What does peace of mind mean to you right now? That's a introspective question.
You have to really think about. It's not one of those questions. How are you? Okay,
I'm fine. No. We're not doing that today.
It's like really think about it. What does peace of mind really mean to you now? At NTV Kenya across all board, as well as our WhatsApp number is how you can reach us. And even as you prepare your questions and your feedback, we're not alone. We have an amazing panel of beautiful ladies joining us this morning on set.
Yes,
and we're going to start with
Uko mwisho. Right to the furthest end.
You guys are too far today, but
I know it feels like they are far, but we have financial coach who is very important to this conversation. Frida Keitani, lovely to have you on the show. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Utuonyeshe ni wapi tunafanya hivi.
It is your first time here on Your World.
Yes,
it is.
Yes, it's such a privilege to be here.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
And right next to Frida, we have relationship therapist Miriam Wangi. Lovely to have you on the show as well. Resident.
I'm not used to seeing you in black.
Really?
It's always color.
Yes.
Yeah.
Today I was like, I want to feel a regal.
Yeah,
And last but not least, we have mental health psychologist Nancy Kabiru. Lovely to have you on the show.
Asante.
We've been doing an exchange program. When she's here, I'm away. When I'm here, she's not.
It's like it's a whole lot of things. The last time you were here, Nancy, I mean, it was on a Wellness Wednesday, but you said something about stress and distress and all those things, and have been thinking about it actually for a very long time. So I think at some point we'll come up during the conversation on stress and distress and what exactly does that mean. Because I feel most of us are in distress, and we're out here working saying, we're
functioning.
Functional. We're not. we really aren't. But like, can we just start with that question? Survival. And looking at survival, say what? 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and survival now. Because I was thinking during like our grandparents' time, and survival meant there's food, just basic things that they could afford. But now, even the basic things are becoming unavoidable for so many people. So just understanding what survival looks like now.
Well, I think I'd look at survival as living for the day. Living for the minute, right? What you have is only enough to get you through that hour, that minute, or that day. There are people who can't afford that day in terms of financially, but probably emotionally they feel, if I get to 6 p.m. today, you know, so they're looking to that 6 p.m. for them to exhale. Because where they are, it is quite overwhelming. Overwhelming maybe with financial demands, with family demands, economic, like job demand, you know. People no longer are dreaming or are ambitious or hopeful for tomorrow. So they are living for the day. That's survival, right? Looking to get through. And it can be at the cost of someone else, but they want just to get through it because they are mentally, emotionally strained, right? So it becomes a me situation.
And when you talk about the survival in terms of how you've elaborated it, it's the minute, it's the hour. And there are people who probably look at it as the end of the month. It will be, all I have in my account is this. I never go beyond this. So survival is relative to, would you say that?
People, maybe also just to add to what Nancy has said, when you're on survival mode, the nervous system is strained. It's operating under stress. So you have, the nervous system has been under stress for such a long time. Stress caused by pain, stress caused by trauma, caused by current situations, and therefore it just takes over to a point of just being on survival mode. So when the nervous system is on survival mode, everything else shuts down. Your body is behaving in a very primitive way just to get you going. So what it does is survival mode will shut down some functions of your body that are not completely needed. And one of the functions that suffers the most is the function of the prefrontal cortex. That's where creativity happens. That's where your imagination is. That's where growth happens. Your dreams and goals come from there. So it shuts down to a point where your nervous system is saying, we just need to survive. So let's just release cortisol and adrenaline. We don't need anything else. Fight, flight, you know, that's where we need to stay for this person to get going with their bodily functions. Because if we try to incorporate something else, they can't do it. So let's shelter them. So you might find that you have been in that state. It's not even just about the current situations. You might find you have been in that state almost all your life without knowing, in and out, in and out, in and out. You know, because when you're growing up, there's some things you are going through and your nervous system said, hey, let's come in and protect this person. Maybe you overcame that, then you got into teenage, something new is happening. People are being katiwad in teenage, you're not. That, trust you me, to some people, that's a threat. So your body now again, the nervous system is like, oh, let's shield this person. You get over that stage, you come into adulting. And so it's an in and out stage. And you can be in that state for so long and think that that's your normal. You don't know anything else.
Because people will say, I am strong, I'm strong, I survived things because I overcame that, I overcame that, I overcame that. So I interpret that as, you know, Winnie is a strong girl. She can go through whatever and she will, and that's not a good thing.
Right? It's not.
So it's a shift to identity into that.
Would you then say a lot of people have been on survival mode, I would say most of their life, right? Because when we think about survival, we might think, surviving, say, a phase, or surviving a season, or surviving, you know, Betty Jamaica, I survived that. No, there's people who have been on survival mode for their entire lives and don't even know. We'll talk about then, how do I know I am on survival in just a second. But can we just unpack surviving financially?
That's where hiyo ndio shida kubwa. Ile tukiwa na pesa we can solve. I'll go pay Miriam, pay Nancy, and they will talk about it.
So when it's not there.
Actually, financial wellness, I'll say, is very important. Even on top of the mental health that we talk about. Because the main cause of all these things and the stress is finances. And apparently most people are actually living paycheck to paycheck. Statistics say 78% or something that people in Kenya live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
And you know, when the stress come in, as she has said, it affects the
prefrontal cortex.
Yes, that one. And that is very key in decision making. That is why people make mistakes financially, because they'll go into borrowing. Someone is borrowing today to pay a loan and borrow again. Someone is calling someone, help me some money to pay this loan, then I'll return to you. So it means that you're in that circle every day, every hour. And that one is very dangerous because people don't even plan for tomorrow, the way she said.
You just want to go through the day,
the month, and you're done.
Yeah.
And that one is so dangerous because even as we become, what do I say, when we become used to that normalcy, it means that we stop dreaming, we stop being innovative, we stop everything. So our lives is just around that way. Paying school fees, we are good. We are buying, I have something to eat today, I'm happy. And there are people who don't even have something to eat.
Unfortunately.
Because today I'm able to make that 100 shillings or 200 shillings. Tomorrow it's not guaranteed. So it's actually not the best situation we're in.
What you just said at the end, last week when we had the strike, Maandamano happening, and there are no matatus, and there were so many people on the roads still waiting and hoping, because if I do not show up today, I will not get anything. So whatever it takes to show up to work today to just get that one meal for the day. The loop. The loop of borrowing here and borrowing there and financial wellness and getting to know or understand and planning in advance. Does it feel like sometimes is privilege to some people that you can actually plan? You can plan? What are we planning? With what? So it's you get, you use. So for people who are probably earning under $1 a day, which is quite a huge majority in the country, what does that look like for them? You know, how do they even start thinking of
financial wellness?
Yes.
I tell you, financial wellness is for everyone.
Okay.
Because even if you're earning that under $1, there's a way you can actually try your best to live within that. Why am I saying that? Because someone who earns 100,000 a month, for example, someone who earns 500,000, the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. It means that that person with 500,000 could even make more major mistakes than someone who's earning less than $1.
Okay.
Because financial wellness is for everyone. That person earning that under $1 could decide that I am living in Nairobi, but back home there's a farm. So they eat from that farm. Even if they're struggling for the first year, the second year, they're able to actually get that maize to Gishagi. You know, they're able to eat that small thing. Even if you don't have, you can decide you're buying every other day. But financial wellness is important. And I tell people, start small. Put aside 5 shillings. 5 shillings. At the end of the month, you have 150. That will save you for another day when there's no money. So just start small. Whether you're earning under $1, sacrifice and save something on the side. Start very small, slowly. Fact is, number one, be aware of where you are. Awareness. And then now that will create stability. Then with stability, what else happens? It brings the sustainability part.
And it's not even just the act of saving, it's the discipline.
It's the discipline and
you
the
know,
structure.
the consistent, the structure that you put.
You bring into your finances.
I see that. We'll unpack more when we come back from the break and also answer the question on how do I know that I am on survival mode, you know? Because most of us think, it's just a day. Surviving my boss, surviving landlord. No, okay. So how exactly does survival look like, and especially in this day and age? And how then do you, like you said, the loop, okay? How do we break that loop? So there's so much to come on the other side of the break, but just a reminder on the question that we're asking you this morning, which is very simple. What exactly does peace of mind look like to you? Usiseme, I am fine, I am okay, okay? What does peace of mind mean to you right now? Let us know at NTV Kenya or on our WhatsApp number. We'll go through your feedback after the break, so do stay with us.
Welcome back. We'll definitely get that as a ringtone or a callback tune. We'll find a way. There must be a way. There must be a way.
And a dance.
And a dance. Welcome back to Mindful Monday. We're talking about survival mode. Jamini, just living in that space and what it means. And we are unpacking it slowly to just also understand what it feels like and what we confuse it to be. And we've also understood that it's not just finances. We can be in other spaces where we're in survival mode. And we could have been on survival mode all our lives. But then now we need to understand what that looks like. What does that look like? How do I identify?
And if you feel that you've been on survival mode, also let us know. At NTV Kenya, across all board our digital platforms, as well as on our WhatsApp number. Just tell us, do you feel you've been on survival mode? Ama you're just out here thinking, survival, what is that? I can't relate. Let us know, okay? But we have a question for you this morning. The question is very simple. What exactly does peace of mind mean to you now? And we're talking about like peace of mind, like ile ukweli. See layer too, I mean, see I have food on the table, roof over my head, clothes on my body. No. What exactly does peace of mind look like or mean to you right now? Let us know. And we'll go through your feedback at some point during the conversation, either on our WhatsApp number or on our digital platforms. But survival mode, and like we were talking about this during the break, and we said it's not just economical or finances. It could be other aspects of our lives. Can we just unpack all these other aspects of our lives that we could be on survival mode and probably don't even know that we are on survival mode? Right. Nancy?
Right. Well, my friend here gave us the tool, the Wheel of Life, which has the financial state, it has the personal development, it has the relationship, it has the spiritual aspect, and a few others, right? So if then you look at yourself wholesomely and put away survival, there are certain things that, get delayed because survival mode makes you stop dreaming, stop hoping, right? So what is delayed? Is it your spiritual life? Is it your relationship with that significant other or relationship with families? When there is economic tension, families also go into a chaotic state because we are a collective country where when one member of the family makes it, they support an ecosystem. And so when their source of income is threatened, the ecosystem equally goes into a challenge. And it's good that you said maybe a lot of us have been on survival mode because if you're dependent on that one individual, two individuals, then it is your growth is determined by the much that they can be able to provide, right? And the dreaming part is that you're never able to exert yourself to be self-reliant, you're dependent on. So survival mode creates a loop of crisis, dependency, trauma, grief, loss, and so on and so forth, right? So even if we mention the hormones and we mention the lack of creativity, the identity of the individual is also at a risk. And when we look at a family, because the family is the pillar of a society, it is the basic unit that will determine how a country will perform, how a community will be. If then within that family front we are challenged, then the effects, the ripple effect will be felt by the entire nation, So it is from that individual. So that's on the family front. Then you have personal development, level of education, skills, You could have been limited in maybe being able to attend university or, higher education, but skill development, there are so many that are, marketable, but because we are not dreaming, we don't think that we are capable or we miss on those opportunity. True story, someone we gave an opportunity, maybe go get a job, you earn 1,000 shillings a day. For them, they tell themselves, I will not go because where will I get transport? They're not thinking at the end of the day, the 1,000 will come and I can pay my transport for tomorrow and for today. So they are limited by what could go wrong. So we are always living on what could go wrong. The anxiety of something can go wrong. So a lot of people stay put or depend on a quick earning scheme. And that's why we have gambling and betting as the most selling things. And poverty is on on the rise because they don't want to go, they want to take a chance hoping that collectively the odds are going to fall on them rather than exerting themselves to put it to work, you know. What would be the other areas?
I think even relationship, just the aspect of that and how it's affected when I'm on survival mode. Because we could be two people and we're just, I don't know what you're dealing with, you're putting it together, you're being strong, and the other person, you probably feel they're not strong enough like you are. You're wondering what's up with them. But how does survival mode really, really affect people in relationships?
I think one of the way it does is, like Nancy has said, survival mode puts you into a situation where you think chaos is normal.
All right.
Chaos is normal. And you get used to chaos. You feel safe in chaos so that you can't recognize quote unquote normalcy, because sometimes we don't even know what that normalcy is.
Looks like,
So you find that even in relationships, you're thriving in chaos. So when something, and I think I've said it before, when something safe comes in a relationship, it feels like a threat. You know, and I can even speak from experience. I've been there. You know, where you're so used to chaotic relationships or chaotic things happening in relationship. When someone safe comes in, or a safe relationship comes in, it becomes a threat to you in that it feels boring. It feels, well,
where's that?
You know, and then exactly, there are no fireworks, and then kumbe the fireworks were chaos. So the real fire, not fireworks. And then you're always waiting for it to end. Because it can't be. It can't be this.
A slight argument, it's over.
You're not used to it. So I would say even in relationships, we are conditioned to stay in survival mode. And why am I saying conditioned? I actually believe, I happen to be a conspiracist, but I actually believe we've all been conditioned to stay on survival mode for a reason. Recently, more than ever, I have come to believe that we've actually been living in a matrix. And those are the things that are, it's like you are taught from the very get-go, from our education system, from everything, to stay on survival mode. That way, your prefrontal cortex is not working enough to question. You can't question. You can't think. Otherwise, you're like that rat in a maze. All it has is what it's directed, where it's directed to go and directed to do, and it thinks it's normal. When you remove that rat from that maze, it follows the same trajectory. You'll find it walking zigzag, and you're thinking, wait, like you have a whole straight path to walk. Why are you walking zigzag? That's conditioning. So all of us have been conditioned that life has to be a particular way. That when it threatens to change, you're like, there's something wrong. You know, right now, if those of us who've grown in the city, if you're forced to go up country, that's where life is. You can plant your own good food. You can, but tell me why you're going to be there complaining and saying life is so boring here, because you're not in the chaos of, I have to wake up at 4:30, get a matatu, go to town before traffic. Oh my gosh, there's traffic. Like, you don't know anything else. That's the conditioning you've been conditioned. So you can actually be conditioned to the same in relationships, whereby you're conditioned to battle in relationship. If there's no fighting in that relationship or arguing, there's something wrong. What are you hiding? What are you? And the person,
you're not being yourself.
You're not being yourself. You're not. But the person is like, hey, me, one of my values is peace. Like, I'm just keeping the peace. And then you, also in this relationship, you're used to being the strong one. So you don't know how to share. You don't know how to be vulnerable. And the other person is thinking, you're locking me out. But it's just your survival mode that has taught you, I can't be vulnerable. It's dangerous to be vulnerable. I can't be seen as weak, because one of the things that survival mode does is put you on hyper-independence and hyper-vigilance, where it makes you feel strong.
Why are you talking about being hyper-independent?
So it's very hard to share your life with another person, and you're only sharing what feels safe. You see?
Yes.
And yet relationships, for a relationship to thrive, not be on survival mode, it needs vulnerability. You need to die to self. And
the thing is, you're protecting yourself because they are attacking.
Let me tell you, there's someone who I watched this video. I think it's like by Pastor Devon Franklin.
Yes.
And he was saying, when it comes to love, it's you need to allow to open your heart to love, but also when you're opening your heart to love, you're also opening your heart to hurt.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, and you
There's
need to
no
be
other
okay
way.
with that.
The people that hurt you are the people that you love. You
Yeah.
people, strangers will not hurt
That was
you.
scary.
They
That
will
was,
not hurt you.
yeah, I was like,
When you are going to book you a session.
That's the thing. You have to open yourself to that vulnerability. The minute you walk into any relationship with anyone, whether it's a love relationship or even in families, be ready to get hurt. Yeah. Be ready to be loved and
but
to get
also
hurt.
Could
Because it's on a they exist together. You know, and you know why you get hurt most of the time? It's because of the expectations you have.
Okay.
You would not get hurt. You know, you
If there are
expect
no
this person to be a
expectations.
particular way. You expect this person to show up a particular way. You expect this person to do this, make you feel like this. When those don't happen,
Then
The
you're hurt.
expectation most of the time
Yes.
is based on your love language. So we tend to use a lens, our own lens, and think that the same thing we can be able to give, the other person can be able to give, right?
Yeah.
So that's one way. The other way is if there was a lack in your growing up, you expect that that person can be able to fill
that.
those shoes without clarity. So the communication is not clear, the value system is not shared well, right?
Yes.
But I wanted to also add on something. If when we are looking at relationship, we are looking for the signs of survival mode, you will notice shifts in emotions or mood. You know, quick to anger, you know, saying things that are targeted and hurtful. You know, you could have shared something about your work and then that person doesn't think you're capable. So along the day, they might bring that up, you know, just to get you, you know, to jack you or to try and communicate something that they were trying to communicate. Relationships are a game of power. At all times, right? It is a game of power.
It's a lot of work.
Yes, you have to know, you have to work within your strengths.
Yes.
And you hope that your partner is able to complement the areas that you're not strong in, and they are strong in those areas. So if they are going to talk, they will say, my strengths are A, B, C, D, and I support A, B, C, D in this way, you know, within your pillow talk conversations. So when that is lacking, then you'll have issues. But going beyond an intimate relationship, we have family relationships. Children can point out how you're regulating yourself, you know. So if your child has ever asked you, are you happy, right? When they ask that question, you are on survival mode. And they are learning also, because behavior is learned. They are learning to respond to the world how you demonstrate.
Oh, Lord.
Okay? So children can tell you, your friends can point it out. If you have a family that has good communication skills, they will be able to point it out, you know? Or even within a community, you could be in church and you have a certain role that you play, and this particular day you had aggressive energy, you know, it can be pointed out to you. And I always say, living without feedback is living a lie.
it's true.
Right?
It's true.
And the same way we've said, when you open yourself to love, when you're looking to learn, also be ready to make mistakes. Because if you don't make mistakes, you're presenting somebody else's experiment. When you do research, you have to give your own findings and the possible, you know, outcome of something else. If your research is the same as somebody else produced, it is not original. So be ready to make those mistakes.
Interesting. Would you also say we've been conditioned to live on survival mode, especially with our finances, because of what either we saw our parents or even just the people around, or what we were told? Money does not grow on trees.
Yes.
That's my favorite. Money definitely does not grow on trees.
Yes.
And it's so sad that we've been pre-programmed to think, to have that mindset, scarcity mindset. There is no money. When we were growing up, some of us, you can ask your mother, I want this. there's no money. And that is fine.
That's it.
And like right now, we have that conversation that when you tell them, I don't have money, they'll tell you why.
You go to work
Especially
every day.
Gen Alpha. Why? You say, you know, why? So it's a lot of whys. But you see, that is even important because you need to open up a conversation that around money. Everyone in the family should understand the situation you're in. If you are on survival mode, everyone should actually understand so that we are not, if we're going to live within our means. For example, right now, the economics, things are becoming tougher. We have fuel has risen, everything else will rise. So of course, there's a need for families to come together and see what don't we need. Do away with that so that we can survive. So it's actually something that has been pre-programmed. And remember, there are so many myths that we grew up, like in relationships, you're not supposed to discuss money.
Ukafunge mahali ufiche. Exactly. Kama msichana.
Yes. So that is a wrong myth that we are actually carrying down the generations. Because right now we can't afford to say that.
No.
Yeah. That's why some men go into depression because they don't know how to handle the situation. So the point is, we have been programmed. We need to unlearn what we've been programmed on.
Absolutely. You talked about systems earlier, and not just saving, you know, but what kind of systems do I need to know or learn to be able to walk this journey of haba na haba itajaza kibaba at some point?
Yes. So there's some systems that we might all know. Number one, the money that you have, are they secure? Moses in the Bible was told, what do you have? I have a road. A road that will lead the children of Israel. The same thing I'm asking anyone with their finances. What do you have? Let's start there. Be aware of what you have. Take time. Most people don't know how much they're spending in the entire month. And I give people a challenge. Use M-Pesa in all your payments for 1 month. Even buying that mandazi. And chai. And end of the month, print your statements. Most people don't know how much they are spending. Be number one, awareness. Once you know how much you have, now how can you secure your money? And then number two, with now what you secure, are you able to save something small at a time?
What exactly does secure mean?
Secure means ensure that you have enough even for tomorrow. Secure so that you are able to live for tomorrow, to look for more. Remember, if you don't have for tomorrow, how will you live for tomorrow? And they normally say that Kenyans, we are one situation away from poverty. Because we do not put emergency funds aside. How much do I say when I say emergency funds? Keep for 3 to 6 months expenditure. Or I would say use your income. If you're earning a salary of 60,000, make sure that you have 60,000 times 3 to 6 months. Because basically that is what you're earning. And when I tell you you need to put that emergency, don't go to the bank and
get a loan and then put it there.
No. Save slowly by slowly. Start small. Because sometimes people make silly mistakes. I'll say silly mistakes.
I told us I need to have this amount in my account. So we're going to borrow and then figure how to pay that.
But you actually, you're reducing your income. Because money is using your future. So just save small and small. Secure your future tomorrow. And then once you secure your tomorrow, you start saving. Saving, and then you now go to multiplication. What you have, how can you multiply? Multiply is through very different ways. I was talking to some group of women, and one of them just told me, Frida, you know what I do? I go every day in the evening and feed my Excel sheet. At what I've used, I go back, check, what did I pay today? Feed. That is what we say system. Create that is workable for you. If you're able to use Excel sheet,
if you can just use a
notebook, use it. But I tell people M-Pesa is the best for you to get to know fast when you don't know. Because starting writing, you can forget others. You decide you're paying everything as a family through M-Pesa. Bring your statements. Though that conversation is really not yet really, families do not really get open to it.
Yeah.
I remember a couple I talked to some months ago, and I told them, I gave them an assignment. I told them, now we've discussed about all these avenues, we can invest, we can all do this. My question is, you wife and husband, do you know how much you bring together in the family?
Hey, whoa. What happened? Did they look at each other? Did they keep quiet?
So I told them, I don't want to know. You go back as a family, discuss, come back. Did I get an answer?
No.
Yes.
They never
you
came
did?
back.
They didn't. When I did a follow-up session, they just came and told us, now we have discussed.
We're okay.
But of course, the wife told me, hey, he refused to tell me even how much he's earning. So the conversation, people are not yet open to talk about finances. And it's high time we talk about it openly.
Yeah. The bigger question that a lot of people struggle with is, at what point then do we start conversations on
money,
finances?
At the point you start a relationship.
Okay.
Yes.
Ile inakaa hivi serious.
Let me tell you.
The third date.
Give even people your financial goals.
Third date. That could be too soon, guys.
No, let me tell you what the mistake we make in relationships is you're entering in there. Relationship should be, this is how I look at it. It should be like a business transaction you're getting into.
Okay.
And it's not about money. You're not saying you want to get this person's money, but I like saying, dating is come and see, right?
Okay.
So you have to see your compatibility.
True.
From the very beginning. Because within the by the time you're going third date, fourth date, you're already starting to develop some little feelings for this person, and you're continuing. So the first 2 dates you can say it's just dating, but within the third, fourth date onwards, call it courtship, call it something, because now you've gone deeper. It's not about, it's no longer superficial or,
what's your favorite
I like
color?
how you look, I like your eyes. You've already talked about that in the first date, second date. You surely cannot be talking about that the third date. And if you are, take off. Because honestly, that's too superficial. From the third date, fourth date, you're talking serious things. You want to know, what do you think about money management? What do you think about it? Because you want to see the habits of this person. And it's good to know. They may not, of course, they're not going to disclose to you on the third, fourth date how much they're earning. But just you can pick their mind to understand what are their financial goals, and they will ask you also.
But a lot of people, financial goal we have, who are able to read. What belt are you wearing? What shoe are you wearing? What car are you driving? And so you become the financial goal for that person. It's no longer individual. So you've mentioned the two people, but there has to be the person. The personal relationship you have with money. And I like to go back on the family front. It's good to try and teach your children, expose them, that if you have 500 shillings, you don't have to spend the whole 500 shillings today. Whether it's 550 or 100 shillings, you don't have to spend the whole. What is important, right? And why is it important, right? And what is the health effect? Because children are so sweet and all those things, What's the health effect of having this on an every day? Can you now change maybe the things that they're addicted to, maybe to a reward? Right? So they know, I have the 500, it is safe. I know growing up we used to be told, you have that money, give me, I'll keep for you. You'll never get it. You'll never get it.
And then they tell you, lakini sitana ulikula nyama.
You'll never get it. So you have to be willing to be honest, right? Keep that 500. If they spend 50 shillings, tell them it's now 450. However, remember our conversation. Those of us who went to boarding school, we probably had the habit of, you will go home, you're given 1,000 shillings and you're told, that's all the money there is. You have to figure out, what will I buy with this? Ni curtain, a blue band, ni sanitary towels and soaps, or is it shoe polish? You had to plan yourself. And that in itself becomes a life skill. So even with families that have more resources, be creative in how you introduce your children to financial management and towards savings. You have to have management first before savings.
I want to add something on that. And I normally say that money matters is a monkey see, monkey do business. These children will watch how you spend, how you do, even if you teach them. And you yourself don't have to do
exactly.
And they will question. But you not. There's something else that probably we can look at after the break, because we're due on a break. And this is a comment that a friend of mine has just shared on my WhatsApp. And she said, girl, I have been on survival mode since I was 16. Losing a parent to suicide at that age, I am a firstborn. So I took the role of taking care of my family almost immediately. I could continue. It is therapy and finding myself that I am slowly crawling out of it. And then says, say hi to Nancy Kabiru. So I think we can go through that grief and even for the young boys who are told, no, just so they grow up with that survival mode. I have to be the man of the house, and sometimes we're just postponing grief. So we can talk about that grief a little bit, and also firstborn daughters and sons.
We'll be suffering. It's a whole conversation.
All through. Yeah. Or can we go through one or two feedback before we go on a break, or maybe we can come back with the feedback? Okay, there we have it. Yes, we can go through some of the feedback. Okay, so this one says, good morning, my name is Bridget. Peace of mind right now as a 24-year-old is having my bills paid on time and a steady income, because most of our problems revolve around money. Need I say more? Okay. And then this one says, good morning, your world. Can we scroll down so that we see what they say? And then says, this is Kamau from Lower Kabete. For me, peace of mind is learning to survive with the little that we are getting, because what is destroying mental wellness in our society is the peer pressure of wanting to have what one cannot afford instead of being satisfied. Okay. And then, hey, Mwikali, you're driving someone crazy. Okay.
All right. Girls.
And I said, hello, our world. Yes, for me, peace of mind is a verb. Deliberate actions, intentions, and choices to feel and be in a certain way despite the prevailing circumstances. Okay. And then this one says, hello, your world and TV. I'm Emos from Kisumu. How do I come out of financial stress and debt?
That's a good question.
That's a very, very good question.
Yes.
Turn a break,
We're going to break. We're going to be right back. We're going to be back.
Welcome back to the show. It is officially the second hour of the conversation this morning, and we're looking at survival mode. And we're survival mode, almost all of us, based on the conversations that we have had during the first hour of the show. And we're asking you this morning, what exactly does peace of mind mean to you
right now?
Okay.
Yeah.
Not even look like, what does it mean to you right now? Okay. There's a lot of people here on Facebook wanasema money. Yani kila mtu anasema pesa.
Frida had told us earlier, baseline ni pesa. It's money, for sure.
Kama kuna pesa tuko na stress hivi kidogo. Okay.
Shadrach says, the only thing a man asks from a woman ... Still tumalizie sentence. Having money, Her Royal Majesty says, I mean enough money that if you have a problem, you fly to Maldives, you go cry in a yacht.
That's the dream.
I'm with you.
Same.
I'm with you.
Apple, yes.
Humble Boy says, it means money, financial security is the only peace and stability that I need right now. Prezonim Ku says, for me, I want to know that I have money and living in peace with my family. So family checks into that comment.
Okay.
Peace of mind means having a calm heart, no stress, and feeling content with life. That is Nelly Hansen. Raphael Neko, when all efforts materialize into desired results, that is what peace of mind looks like for them. Brian Jiguna says, achieving, I think is what you're trying to say. Achieving my goals and good health.
Okay.
Happiness. Oh, Samson says happiness.
Okay.
Is peace of mind.
Oh, Johnson Asema, it's what I got now.
Oh. Awesome.
Okay.
Good.
Hi, this is Tito and Asema, free from worries. Peace of mind. That is what it looks like to them.
Candy Galfi says, have you seen that one? Candy Galfi says, nilikuwa lakini tulishinda EPL. Nico Cloud 9 na sishuki anytime soon.
But to Arsenal.
Peace of mind, this is what it looks like.
So we'll allow you to celebrate 22 years Divingi Sada. We can take it.
We can take it. Celebrate it.
Yeah. Hi. Someone else here says, this is Jacinta Katoi, who says, being at late age with everything I needed in life. That is what peace of mind looks like to them.
Okay.
Zuleka bint Said, and but not dealing with toxic people. That is what peace of mind means to them. And then Madrigal Galado says, having money and no one telling me how to use it, for it is mine. I beg, not ours.
It's yours. But she will need probably Frida to tell you, because we talked about the $100 person. This other one with a lot of money. How do we deal? Are we saving, or we're just living because we're living in opulence?
All those things. But
there was a question that was asked on WhatsApp, and it was about how do I get out of survival mode? Because we've established most of us are already in that space. But how? So we've talked about some of the things that we can identify from quick to anger. If we can also add on to those as we look at how to get out of survival mode.
And this is where now we probably advocate for positive actions and behavior, right? However small. I want everyone to imagine that positive behavior being a drop from a tap. If you were to put a jug to try and fetch, you will find that at the end of the day, the water level on that jug has risen, right? But you would have neglected that drop in the beginning. So what would be your positive behavior that you can introduce to get you out of survival mode? Is it saving that little amount and putting it in a safe space? Sometimes when it comes to savings, it's a personal journey, right? You can use groups collectively to get you there, but most of the time it should be a personal journey. You can share with your partner if you're in a relationship, but the drive has to be personal, because you have to prove to yourself that it is possible to get there. I do know of people who save enough and they're like, I'm saving towards buying land, and they do what we call maybe manual labor. But because they shared with their friends, their friends scheme ways and they end up conning them. True story, someone lost 300,000, yet they earn less than 700 shillings in a day. Imagine the number of years, days that they have taken to save that money. But because they shared, people become schemeful because they are equally on survival mode. And that takes me to my original point. When people are on survival mode, they only think about themselves. So from the individual perspective, what's your positive behavior or goal that you can introduce? Be consistent in it, because consistency is what will be the proof that it is possible to do it, right? And then be strategic. Strategy means that you're seeing the possibility of it being beneficial beyond yourself, right? So be strategic towards what you do. So if your goal is fitness, to get out of survival mode could be illnesses, hormone issues, So if your goal is fitness, what's that small type of behavior you can introduce? So it could be challenging yourself towards a number of steps in a day, and maybe over the weekend now you exert yourself. It could be the way you're eating, the kind of food you're eating, because remember, when you're in survival mode, you're not driven. So even applying the love in the cooking process, you don't want. You want to just order, right? And ordering costs you the cost of the food and the cost of delivery. You're losing. It's the same as borrowing. There is an interest or there is a cost to it. We don't have that time that we give ourselves to deliver that, to give ourselves attention or a bit of love, And if you don't know how to love yourself, even if the whole world loves you, you will never be able to acknowledge it as love. You will be suspicious, So that's on health. If it is on relationships, what do you need to accept, Because not everyone comes for therapy. Yes. So there are those who have gone through self-discovery, reworking their identity, learning their skills, but you go back to the same society that has not changed.
Yes.
Right? So what about your awareness now needs to be applied so that you can continue to thrive, not go back to survival, then come back to therapy, you exhale, then go back, you know?
To survival,
Because sometimes a shift in one person's behavior can influence a whole community, right? So it's the way you adapt to these things.
Okay.
So that's on relationships. Then look at your spiritual goal, look at your family goals, look at your skill set, you know. What on online, because we are all using data, you know, we are so big, we are the biggest consumers of data. We've made a lot of people rich, right? But as they are becoming rich, how rich with knowledge and skills are you becoming? Because she talked of the M-Pesa, using M-Pesa, that's a tool, right? But if you are to research more about budgeting and things like those, there are tools that are able to help you know. I go out with my friends and we split bills on Splitwise.
On Splitwise,
yes. So there is no, and you're able to tell, okay, historically I am, you know. So there are some tools beyond what we have that maybe won't cost you anything, that would be useful for you, even when you're looking at budgeting, when you're looking at projected savings, okay? And then also think about, you've skilled yourself, you looked at the community, you've looked at your health, right? Think about how then are you propelling yourself as a person, right? Because we have adapted this hustler mentality. But what is hustling exactly? Is hustling not a justification for insecurity? Without safety, right, then you're not going to thrive, right? How are you contributing to your own personal safety? How are you contributing to the safety of the, you know, people around you? How are the people around you contributing to your safety? Because you can grow yourself, and then you find you no longer fit in the environment where you're currently placed. So you do have to move yourself to an environment that feels safe enough for you, safe psychologically, safe emotionally, safe financially, you know, and maybe also economically. We have a lot of people migrating to get, you know, jobs out there that they would not do here. But they do feel safe there because no one is demanding so much from them, you know. When you learn the skill of these are my boundaries and I have a goal, I don't have to explain myself. I am not able to do that right now. That's an enough answer, so that you meet your own self.
I see that. There was a question on not a question really, but a comment on grief. And a lot of people would actually find themselves in that situation where, fortunately, you know, lost a parent, and then you're the firstborn, and then you have to come in and literally support your entire family, and just staying on that.
So looking at that one, the idea, the skills they gain from learning to take care of a family at a young age makes them a good leader. They are able to critically see, you know, from an ego perspective, the possibility. So they are able to solve problems for people. But for themselves, they've not been met, right? They've not been met psychologically, they've not been met emotionally. And that is where we have vulnerability issues, and I'm happy that they've attended therapy, because they've learned, right? But we do have a lot of people who do not know that they actually require to be seen, right? They require to be loved, they require to be appreciated, because the, you know, the experiences they've gone through shape them to become who they are. So what do they grieve? They grieve their childhood, lost childhood. They could not manage kukatiwa sanga.
At what point?
You know, when the family is dependent on you. So they never learned those skills of relationship building and so on and so forth. They know protection. So now the grieving is grieving and knowing I lost this part of me and I need to learn that. The grieving is I could have done so much financially also, but I've been pouring so much on my family. We do not need to build dependent people. There's the King Abdullahi Emirates who says, my father rode a camel, I rode a horse, and so on and so forth. And so fifth generation of his has to ride a camel back again because he doesn't want to create a dependent society. You know, and these are people who have money to different levels that we cannot even imagine. So even for you, whatever you've gone through, it's good not to take away from your family learning to be independent. What are the ways you can encourage each other? What are the ways we can challenge each other to see how are you growing? We don't have to be on the same job level because those firstborns and those who've gone through hardship also have a lot of favor because they're able to express themselves differently. True. So you get a good job, a good position to run and manage things. But then don't forget that you need to equally challenge the way you would challenge a team to deliver, challenge your family to also come up. What are the skills they have? How are you doing? If you've been able to save 1,000 at the end of the month, by the way, celebrate that. It is your ability. If mine is 100,000, don't compare yourself with my 100,000. That's a growth, And little by little, you find that now those siblings will no longer be dependent on you because they will form families of their own. But if we don't have these conversations and challenging each other and speaking what someone's ability is, then you, who was the mother, will end up taking care of all your siblings, children, and so on and so forth. Going back to the collective society.
And I'm also curious, can this also impact them in relationships? Because now you're used to taking care of being in charge, being the leader, taking care of everybody else. How can that present itself in relationships, and how are you able to sort of like close that loop and just take care of you?
Exactly.
Let me just first say, before I even answer that, start by saying that one of the things that grief does is put you direct into survival mode. Direct. Whether you want to look at it you go straight, and the only way to get out of that kind of survival mode pertaining grief is to reinvent yourself.
Okay.
Because the way you knew life before has completely changed. And it has not changed because it was forced on you because this person has gone. So what has changed? Your identity has changed. Who you are with this person is no longer there. Your role has changed. Everything about your life has changed. So with acceptance comes grieving so many losses, like Nancy has said, and that's the thing that people never talk about grief. There's so many losses that goes with losing the person. So if you don't, first of all, as you're accepting it, if you don't reinvent yourself, you get stagnated, because one of the things that survival mode does is to stagnate you for your safety. So you find yourself in that level. But now, like for her, she didn't have time to stagnate because she had to hit the ground running. That's a person who's been on high vigilance survival mode. Like, it's just a matter, I need to get this done. Just this, So where now they rest, those are the people who go through a nervous breakdown. And I'm so happy that she went through therapy. Because it's with the rest where now you're like, you realize, I've lost all this. My life has been this. My life, and then you just cave in, without the therapy. So I just felt I needed to say that. But when it comes to relationships, such a person, like Nancy has said, she's used to being the captain of her own ship. She's a leader. She's just used to, this needs to be done. This needs, like she's on that mode, like on. Things need to be done. There's no point of, there's no space for emotional wuye and
or even questioning the decisions.
Because if I am wuye, who gets this done? So for them, survival became part of their identity. Now when they're going into a relationship where they have to co-captain, it becomes very difficult. Because how she sees things, especially for her, she was extremely young. She started seeing things differently from a very long time, in terms of what needs to be done, in terms of where we're going, in terms of what's not working. And then now you've gotten into a relationship where there is someone who is trying to tell you, let's navigate things differently. It becomes very difficult for them, because for them, they're used to hypervigilance. They're used to seeing things, towards the end. They're not seeing things now. We're like, where are we heading? Then now you're coming with a person who is trying to slow you down. Let's talk about life. And especially now for a woman, there's actually someone who's trying to come and be a new leader in your life, and you've been both the man and the woman in that relationship, and now you're being told, listen, you're under my leadership. You're looking at that leadership, you're questioning it, because you're like, I have been a leader, I know what that looks like, and this is not leadership.
This is not it.
So they're not able to just enter and be co-partner, it becomes very difficult. And it's not because they have to choose. And it's not just, those who are firstborns here, you know how hard it is to navigate that thing of, now you're being told this is tunaenda hivi. Na wewe ukiangalia unaona kwenda hivyo hapana, tunaenda hivyo wapi? Tuende, you know, so it has to be a conscious decision. And a conscious decision can only come in a place where there is a plenitude of self-awareness. This is how I get when a situation becomes like this. This is, you know, just knowing that this is who I am as a person, but now I am getting into a relationship. Who do I want to show up as in this relationship? First of all, why do I want a relationship? What kind of a relationship do I want? What are the goals for this relationship? Then and then only will you feel like, okay, I need to, if at all, make myself a little bit small just to fit in here, because I have goals for this relationship, and this is what this relationship means to me. Such a person entering a relationship blindly will come out. It won't work for them because they feel it's curtailing. It's curtailing who they are, and it's making them small.
Okay. And Frida, financially as well for this person, but yes.
So when you talk about finances, you need courage.
Okay.
Oh, yes, please.
You need courage.
Yes.
Because it's not easy to just come out of where you are. If you are, even if it's in a relationship and you're feeling you are getting into chaos, it needs courage to sit down even as a family and say, what do we need? And that is the start of it. So you need courage to move things forward. And once you put courage, then it means that you're able now to gain discipline. You might not make it the first time, but you need to move forward one step at a time. Build those habits. Because when it comes to relationships, and that's I'll say that child of 16 years, that's when it took courage for her to just take over. Because that was courage.
That was courage.
And taking care of all these children, she was pouring too much. And you know, if you don't have time to refill, rejuvenate, it means that you'll break down. And I'm happy she's in therapy, because I'm so sure she just gets help somehow. But what I can just advise, when you go through grief, take courage. It's not easy to tell someone be strong and they become strong. It takes a lot of courage to just be strong. Just be strong yourself. But when it comes to matters finances, after a loss, you just need to build habits. Things that are not working, put aside. Focus and see what is the goal here. Even if it's something that you're getting, because most of the time probably the breadwinner passes on, and there's something that probably to come. Don't just do things without being very courageous and say, I am going to go this. What is the goal here? If it's saving, what is the goal? And worst is, as women, what we go through as families. For example, if a breadwinner passes on, there's a lot of wrangles, there's courts, there's all these things. But it will take courage for someone to just move forward, whether you get something or not. Look at the situation and tell yourself, I have to move here, these are the children I have, how do I go? And the easy thing that I'll tell people is you have a skill, right? Learn a skill. Teach about the skill. And write about the skill. That should give you something. Because at the end of the day, it's what you have that can take you somewhere.
Oh, wow.
I'm curious. 16,
lost the dad at 16.
At 16. How old are they now? Like the journey of you have to walk this many years of your life, sort of like dead to self. You know, your life is about everybody else other than yourself. And then you wake up in your mid-30s. And you're like, I have needs, I have wants, I have dreams, I have goals, and it still feels selfish.
It still
feels, just put your... I'm happy she's
I was just thinking, just looking at that scenario, I think even as a community we are failing. Because we grew up knowing that community raises a child.
Yeah.
Right now, that community thing is totally out. Because probably women in the community would have held her and even tell her how to move around.
Yeah. She shouldn't have had to.
Yeah, but you see now that the community is becoming individualistic.
It's just sad.
People don't, it's just sad.
But in terms of what Mikali has asked, when you change your role suddenly changes and you become a caregiver, especially not just, most of the time when we say caregiving, we're thinking in terms of illness, but she was a caregiver to her siblings. And depending on how many years you do it, I can say for sure it takes so much. You don't notice then, but it takes so much from you. It's only after you're done with it that you come to realize, oops, this passed, like the milestones. You don't have normal milestones like everyone else, unless you're lucky. But most of the time, it doesn't. I have been in that situation where I've been a caregiver, and looking at myself right now, you're like, oh, I missed this step, I missed that step. So if you're not careful, and you love the people you're doing that for. If you're not careful, you can end up being resentful. You don't even know who the resentment is directed towards, because you're like, I love the person I was taking care of, and so I can't be resentful. But you still can't help but feel like, in these 20 years I've done this, where would I have been? What would I have done differently? And there's still the reminder in society, when you look at maybe your friends or whoever, they are far off than you are. But I would like to say this. I mean, being a believer and a faith-filled person, there's something called restoration. God always restores. You may not see how he's doing it.
Yes.
Like for me, when I was in that space of a caregiving, I used to feel like, oh my gosh, I've been left behind. This and this has not happened. But can I tell you, a few years into it now, God has restored me. So people who are looking at me like, what happened? So God always, if you're a faithful person, I would say, have peace in knowing God will restore.
Feels like we should give a group hug.
I know.
Feels very
nice.
Okay.
It gets better.
We are due on a break.
Yes.
Do we have time for feedback right now, Kevin, or do we just okay? Let's take a bit of feedback from WhatsApp. Winnie?
All right. This one says, good morning. I am Mr. Sitima from Kangemi. I like the program. It should reach many men who are undergoing depression. Okay. And then this one says, when you hear peace of mind to me is when I have good health, generally, mentally, physically, no pains in the body. Yeah. Okay. And then this one says, hello. Well, what I know about being on survival mode is when you are surviving, in caps, so nasoma in caps. When you are surviving, you have no time to dream. Completely. Have a dream, which is a dangerous place to be. All right. Thank you so much for your feedback. Okay. All right, watch our 20 break, and then when we come back from the break, there's the question of, I think, on financial survival. How do we close that loop? I know we've talked about what you can do, saving and whatnot, but in a generation where we were never taught, we were told, go to school, get a job, stay in that job, okay? Vumilia in that job. What are some of these tools that are available for us, and plus so many other aspects of our lives? So do stay with us. The show is Your World. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back. Somebody has just been called out before we went on air, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
It is well.
It's Mindful Monday. We're being very mindful with the things that we're telling each other this morning as we talk about survival mode. And we have plenty of feedback. Yeah. But the question that we're asking you today is, what does peace of mind mean to you right now? What does it mean to you right now? NTV Kenya on all of our social media platforms, on WhatsApp as well. We take a bit of feedback from WhatsApp.
Yes. I'm just looking at Facebook, but I think we'll go through Facebook in a second.
Okay.
On WhatsApp, this one says, hello, I am watching you guys from Kiambu, Kimodhai. Okay. You have to live with what you have. Never put yourself on loans because it will kill you or make you sick. Me, myself, and I have been through this always from childhood and up until now. I am a mother with the same condition. Peace is living without stressing about money that you do not have. Absolutely. Okay, this one says, hey, Mwikali, hello back.
Hi.
I am really enjoying the conversation in terms of tracking finances. I have seen the benefit of doing this in a very disciplined way since 2017. I have been using a free, I think, but excellent app called Money Manager, and I can tell you that I can account for at least 95% of all my family's income and expenditure over the past 9 years, including transaction charges. And at one glance, I can see all our cash and investment balances. I have shared this up with friends and family. At the end of the day, the adoption is dependent on one's discipline. Then continues to say, my wife and I have seen the benefit of this daily habit.
Awesome.
And then I share the link hapo and anasema all the very best. Haya.
Thank you.
Mukopi your link mtumie. And it says, this one says, it's everybody's first time on this earth. Whatever works for you might not work for someone else. Okay, all right. And then continues to say, the point is money solves everything apart from health. Oh, yeah? Okay. This one says, greetings, Winnie and Mwikali and the panelists. For me, I think living on survival mode is just to be contented with what you have and have self-discipline on matters of finances. Okay. And then this one says, good morning, our world family. I hope you all have been fine. I'm honestly not okay, but nobody around me knows. Oh dear. We're giving you virtual hugs, virtual hugs.
Yes.
And then it says, I've done everything I could just to survive, but it keeps getting bad every now and then. The people I've silently sought help from ended up taking advantage of me. Nivile, committing suicide is a sin and a crime in Kenya, so I have to still stay alive. Please help me walk this journey of life. I am willing to start all over again from scratch. I'd appreciate Sana. I have been praying, by the way, and even Jana, I just sat down asking God for help. Then I tuned in just right now. I was a caregiver to my girlfriend who was battling cancer. I quit my job and rejected all the job offers that came my way. I'm the only kid, Kwetu, and to a single mother. All my savings zikaisha and my relatives stepped away from me. She later died and I have never recovered. Hadi wa leo. Oh dear.
Never needs help.
Yeah, that's difficult. Okay, this one says, hello, I'm looking for guidance from someone experienced in helping people living on survival mode. Lately, I have been feeling mentally exhausted, financially pressured, and constantly worried about the future. I'm trying to improve my life, relationships, and stability, but I feel stuck and overwhelmed at times. I would appreciate honest advice and support on how to rebuild myself step by step. And then this one says, hello. Okay, can we answer the one who says, don't
feels like at the end of the road, and they just need help. They need help.
Right. I think I'd say it's good that they've shared. That's the first point towards healing. And we can see from many testimony or stories that just because someone carries it well, it doesn't mean it's not heavy, right? So when you start expressing the depth of that weight, right, then you can get relevant help, right? We talked of when we're looking at finances, even in a relationship, whether with self or with someone else you're taking care of, it's good to understand what your role is. Because sometimes you have to mirror support from a point of strength. So if your role is financial, then you do require supporting systems for the other areas. Even in relationship, we don't just say what you bring to the table, the money. That is what counts. There's the activity. So if you're giving care to someone else, it's heavy on you. What is this support system that we can be able to build? The easiest being from churches have become the community for a lot of people, whether it's church or a mosque or whatever. I'll speak with what I'm familiar with. Churches have become a community, right? Within a church setting, they do have counselors, right? Or they do have therapists. So if it is a cost thing, then you can get that from that community. So the idea is don't be shy, push yourself
talk about it.
Talk about the depth of it. Sometimes by sharing the depth of what you're carrying is also encouraging to someone else. There are people who do not know what it takes to deliver that food on the table. So if you don't talk about that journey, they will not appreciate it as much, or they will not learn the courage of being able to do it for themselves.
The need to speak to someone at what point, and even financially as well as emotionally, because the strong self, the strong persona that we present becomes the thing that we walk around with, that is who we are. Subconsciously, we don't know. Subconsciously, probably when you're alone, that's when you feel deflated. But you have to pick yourself up every time you step out to interact with the world. But what are some of the things, practical things that someone can do if talking to someone is something they are not willing to do at the time, but silently, quietly, in their own quiet space, they know that they're not okay?
They're not okay.
If they're not going to talk to someone, I would highly recommend they talk to someone. But if they won't, I mean, the only other practical tools we have as counselors, and we tell people, is to journal. Is to release their feelings out somewhere. Where if you're going to use that book like a person, telling them, you know, writing everything that you're feeling in that book. But sometimes that may not work when the person actually needs personal reciprocity. Because the thing is, like, what I felt with that person, the way I'm feeling for them is that they're very alone in the space that they're dealing with. Nobody knows exactly what they're going through. So that person, even if they journal, they've just journaled into the book. They've released their feelings just like they've done now. And releasing what you're going through is a cathartic experience. But sometimes someone needs to feel seen. Like I felt for this person, they feel to be, they want to feel seen. They want to feel understood, and they want to feel someone, to have someone telling them what you have gone through is heavy. They want to be validated in what they've gone through. So sometimes in such a situation, if like she's talked about getting a counselor in the church, and he seems to be a man of faith or whatever, maybe it's to go into that church compound and talk to a pastor and just let them know, this is what I'm going through, for them to get that reassurance. Because like for him, the way I have felt, he needs multiple, he's going through multiple things. There's still the grief. He's not dealt with grief at all. And grief, if predated grief, will lead to depression. So he might not even, he's not even clinically depressed. It could be that he's just not dealt with the grief completely, and it's weighing him down to a point where he feels, maybe it's better even for me just to die. So if he was to go and see someone, there's different issues to deal with. There's that one of grief. I've also noticed there's that loneliness, and that's why he will speak about just being the only child. So he has no fall back on, he has no sibling he can talk to. Then he's from a single mom, meaning maybe the economical scene, the two of them is not good, and there's nobody else to help. So there's also the financial issue. So there are so many compounded things that he's going through, and it takes, he needs to find someone who will give him support, because journaling will only give him a cathartic experience of releasing, like he's done now. But you see, now he's written, but he still feels weighed down because he has no support. And sometimes support just it looks like someone who faces you and says, I understand you. Validate him. What you've gone through is heavy for someone. I can see what you've been through. So this is what we need to do for you to move from there. Just that hand of support of sometimes, you know, people will come in for counseling, and you don't even have to say something to them. You just, you know, give them a small pat and touch them, and they feel like, I've been seen. I've been seen.
And still, to think of it, when you're on survival mode, the levels of anxiety are very elevated. And one of the signs of anxiety is equally isolating, right? So the pattern of alone, single, alone, you know, is coming up a lot, right? So the idea here is to know that you're a social being. At the end of the day, you're a social being. What is within your reach that you can be able to do to create a human contact, even if it's not a professional, right? Create that human contact so that you can pull yourself from it, right? Because when you're in the loop of grief and stuck there, what we talk about is then complicated grief, right? You will grieve so many other parts and not finishing them. Like, you know, the way people who have ADHD, the diagnosis would be you start something, you never finish. Now, when you have complicated grief, you have multiple things that you have not dealt with or addressed or come to a point of acceptance, and all you're seeing is the possibility of it getting worse than it becoming positive. So we see you, we hear you, we understand that what you've been carrying is not, has been heavy. So we understand that, but we are encouraging you to have the courage, speak to someone.
Absolutely. So
and even financially, line, you know what they said, they lost everything. They had to quit their job. And they've not recovered. And I think for them,
they said no to opportunities because they, prefer to take care of their loved one. So
are there things that probably they can do to just, even as they really, try to speak to someone or just find ways to really release whatever it is that they're carrying, which is very heavy. But are there maybe avenues, things that they can do to at least try to, say, even live on a day-to-day basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis?
Yeah, so for me, listening to that story, actually, it's really sad.
It's heavy,
But looking at him, he's someone who was in an earning position.
Yes.
He's not someone who's never earned because he was in probably a job or something.
Yeah.
He needs to find himself. What does he love most?
Okay.
What is something that he can do even as he's grieving? Even as he is going through this series of maybe going to church, talking to someone. Because at the end of the day, you need to release it.
Sure.
But how will you release if you're a loner? You don't have to get that big job, but get something that can keep you close to people. Because when you go to that small office, even if it's something small that you're earning 500 a day, you're close to people.
Yes.
In the process of talking and talking, you might even talk something that someone will notice. And with that, and I don't know about therapy, but when it comes to coaching, it's not the coach who will give you the answers. You
already have
the answers. But you see, you need someone who will guide you to getting those answers internally. Because getting out of where you are, it's not easy. That one, I'll tell you, it's not easy. But just find something that gives you, makes you a bit happy. Because this is not a situation where I'll tell you, get a skill, use a skill. No. You don't even have that energy to even use what you have. But get yourself out to where people are.
Okay.
So that you're able to have a conversation with people. People making jokes, you can even smile, you can laugh. And for
human connection.
That human connection is very important. Get yourself somewhere, even if it means going to that mjengo. Just meet people. Get yourself out.
Okay. For someone so probably just slightly away from this conversation, but someone who's probably gotten themselves in what you described earlier, where you've borrowed Peter to pay Paul, and then Paul to pay John, and then it's a whole circle, and there's a lot of things happening in that space. How easy or difficult, or what can they do to just be able to pull themselves? So they've already, damage is done. And sasa wanakusikiza leo wako like,
I think there's someone who's like, how do I start?
How do I start afresh? Actually, yes. How do I start afresh now?
The point is start where you are.
Okay.
Start where you are. Start how you are. Even if it's 500, start there.
Okay.
First, document everything. Document what you owed, what you've borrowed. Document your borrowing, document the money in, document the money out. Put them in a paper so that you know the current situation you are in. You cannot control what you do not know.
That's true.
And I tell people that money, if there's anything that is very diligent, is money. Because money will obey. If you tell your money, I want a suit from Italy, your money will do it so long as you have the money. So money is very diligent. But now it's how will you control it to go to the right places? So that you're not into this. Number two, if you're into so much money borrowings, you can use a strategy called snowball.
Called?
Snowball.
Snowball.
You see, like this snow goes and it collects. So start with a small loan that you have, clear the small ones, then it builds up, and then you finish. Why I'm saying that is because you can't do everything at once.
Yes.
So start small. Another strategy is you can decide that I want to pay the high interest loans first, so that you remain with the loans that don't have a lot of interest. It's even better to go to the loans that low interest and negotiate for a better payments plan, so that you can clear these high interest loans, these loans that does not give you peace, those that keep calling you every hour, every minute that you have our money, return it. You know, you cannot even think of how you can pay back. So you can finish whatever is high interest loans, and then finish the small ones. But document, you can be celebrating a win. You finish one loan, celebrate, give yourself a pat. You have not reached where you want, but you're going small, and start building those habits. Build the habits that will help you move financially from one level to another. And when you talk about those habits, one of our very good self-care tool that even the therapist should be using is budgeting. I call budgeting a self-care tool.
You know, in spaces where people have talked about budgeting, it's not self-care. It is self-care. but it's a whole attitude change. So change the attitude from control and make it as stiff as possible to look at it as a form of self-care.
Because self-care is how you take care of yourself. You expect the money that you're making to take care of you. But now if you do not budget and send it to the correct places, it's as simple as even doing yourself. Like if you used to buying out, for example, you love
eating out,
there's tears, there's what, there are offers all over. And there's that temptation that you want to buy on a Thursday, there's pizza. Steers, they have stew on Wednesday. All those things we know because we have children anyway. Offers are everywhere, and they keep on popping. You try and read something, it comes pop.
You think about it, you see it on your phone.
That's true. Yes. So what you need to do is, it's as simple as doing it yourself. Do some things yourself and save that money. It's just intentionality that comes in.
I see that. Can we go through one more round of feedback? Answer questions. And then, yes, we have less than 10 minutes now before we have to say goodbye.
Okay.
This one says, hello, coach. I hope you're doing well. I am reaching out because I genuinely need guidance and understanding on when it comes to relationships. In my life, I have met good men who are kind, caring, supportive, and have good intentions. Some of them truly valued me, and I appreciate them as people. However, despite meeting good people, the relationships never seem to work out in the long run, on long term. Things often start well, but sometimes along the journey, misunderstandings and emotional distance, communication problems, or incompatibility begin to appear. And eventually, the relationships end. This has left me confused and emotionally exhausted because I sometimes wonder if I am doing something wrong, choosing the wrong partners, or simply struggling to build lasting emotional connections. I have tried to be patient, understanding, and loyal and loving, but I still find myself experiencing disappointments and heartbreak. I truly want to understand myself better and learn how to build a healthy, stable, and meaningful relationship. I want to know how to recognize compatibility, improve communication, heal from the past emotional experiences, and avoid patterns that may be affecting my relationships. I still believe in love, commitment, and genuine connection, but I feel I need guidance to better understand relationships and myself emotionally. I would really appreciate your honest advice and support on how I can grow and eventually build a relationship that lasts. Oh, I really like this question.
I do.
Okay, Miriam Solido hiyo kwako haya. This one says, ndio sasa Miriam ameshasema that you cannot deal with grief twice. Anyways, good morning. Ndio kuamka baada ya sherehe EPL na bado nyinyi watu wa Arsenal na kusalute my Arsenal club. We haikuwa rahisi. Oh, ndio anaimba hiyo song. Haikuwa rahisi. Sikufika hapa. And for that, for me, it means a lot of peace of mind. Bye, guys. Oh, ni nani? It must be someone that we know. Hi, this one says, my name is Joanne, dealing with depression for a long time until I got to a place where I now have blood pressure issues and born diabetic. I am trying to pull my mom out of this place where she has to be where she has to buy my medication, and I do it for myself, but I'm still struggling with my finances and have been silent for so long. So every night I cry and I pray to God. Oh dear.
We'll go through it.
All right. Whoever somebody hide their ID, haya sawa, and then says, I am a firstborn daughter in a polygamous family. I have lived with my second mom since I was 1.5 years old. I cannot lie. It was hell of a road, but still have to survive. It's hard denying yourself something's just because all eyes are on you, waiting for you to just make one mistake so that they can tarnish your name. I've always thought my elder brother had my back until I came to realize he extremely thinks low of me. Funny enough, I've always thought he's the only one who gets me. In this family, and since he showed me what he really thinks of me, I'm just neutral. I don't know what to think or feel anymore because I feel really shattered. The nays are really many. I cannot mention all, but where? And then says, my 2 suicidal attempts failed. So I am just waiting for that day that God will decide it's finally my turn to leave this wicked planet and join him, or maybe join hell. It will be such a relief. Oh, dear Lord. Okay. This one says, I lost my parents. I have never moved on. It's hard. I am stuck. I feel doomed. I have never been the same again. I feel like dying. I have severe anxiety causing very severe palpitations. I need help.
Oh my God.
And then this one says, good morning, our world family, being prayed, just Jenna. No, I think we've gone through this. And then says, thank you for your feedback. I really appreciate. God bless. Thank you. And thank you for sharing, really. You know, yeah. Okay, I think this one says, hello. I have been struggling from my childhood. I grew up very fast. I cannot remember how childhood even was for me. Later, I was addicted to drugs to cope with my ever-running brain. Always trying to know everything so I can stay out of danger. I never found someone, okay. I never found someone, wait, I think I lost it. Running out of brain, everything I can stay out of danger. Never found someone
to understand me.
To understand me. I'm suffering from depression, anxiety, low energy. I don't know what to do anymore. Sometimes I have this weird thoughts of me being dead, and it's scary. I have tried to assume, but it's always deep in there. I cannot even have a conversation for 5 minutes. My brain goes blank, so I never talk to anyone. Remember a time where I wanted to go to therapy, but I did not because when the family got the message, suddenly I was the bad guy. That's all my fault, and that I am weak and all those blaming. Now I am just there. I would want to do something, but my brain finds ways to delay me or sabotage me. I really don't know how being normal is like. I really need help. And then says, I want to be a better man and someone who can help others. Oh, this is heavy. Okay, this one says, hi, I was working, but I got an accident and I was laid out. And I had a loan at SACCO whereby I was not able to pay. So my guarantors were offset. One took me to court and the other one is threatening to do so. Please help. Oh. Can we answer those questions?
Yeah.
It's heavy. There's a lot of hopelessness. It's yeah.
Well, I like first to advise on what is within your reach. For example, when you're feeling low and you get to go outside or have the sun hit you, it does help your nervous system rewire. So that is a tool, right? Help your nervous system rewire. Remember that analogy of a draw. Because when your nervous system is able to rewire, there's exhaling that goes on, and so the anxiety, constant state of anxiety is somehow managed, right? When we are on survival mode, we learn skills, we learn capacity, and so the things that are a threat are usually bigger and magnitudinous unless they keep on playing in our mind. And mental health looks at your thoughts, your behavior, your actions. So if your thoughts are doom, your behavior will be doom. Your actions is going to be doom. If your thoughts are positive, then it will change. The second two will be what physically exerting activity can you do, right? There are those who can run, there are those who can walk. Increase the heart rate, because you need to teach your heart to have a bigger capacity, right? Even those who go through anxiety, what they feel are palpitations and they feel like they don't have the capacity. So if you can be able to intentionally increase that heart rate for a small amount of time, then even the feeling of anxiety will not be too overwhelming, right? Then, as I said, connect with nature. If you're afraid of connecting with other fellow humans, then connect with nature. Take a walk, go landscaping, you know, appreciate that small bush. You understand? It doesn't cost you anything, but it grounds you. Plants appreciate when we visit them. You know, because we give them what they cannot make for themselves, right? And humans should be happy when they visit plants. So connect with nature and then start talking about what your journey is about. Because by sharing your journey, you will learn from others and they will learn from you, and you can build a community at the end of the day. And therapists are available.
If you can. Okay, I think 30 seconds each. And probably for those ones who we've not answered their questions, if you're okay to also share your number or email address or just ways that people can reach you, because
I think for me, I want to address the one who's talking about relationships. I think one of the best advice I would give them right now is take some time for yourself, because it seems like they're searching for love from people. And when you're eager and too enthusiastic for love, what happens is you tend to self-sabotage because you're in your anxious attachment. And that's how come you end up sabotaging your relationship. Take time. Take time to be self-aware, learn yourself, learn who you are and what your triggers are, what are your value system, what are your boundaries, so that even when you're getting into this relationship, you're not getting to be fed, you're getting in as an equal partner because you're already fed. I also want to talk about the one who has lost their parents. Sorry,
in like 10 seconds.
I'm there with them. I've lost both of my parents, and I know it feels like. I think they need to check what support groups they have in their church and get themselves in there. Get into a support group.
20 seconds. I mean, what 10 seconds?
The fact that you're still alive means that God has not finished with you. So hang on in there and just trust God. But I want to talk about the person who has an issue with circle. Go back to the circle and just be vulnerable enough. Even if you're on wheelchair, just walk there, go there, let someone carry you there. Tell them this is the situation I'm in. So if these guarantors take me to court, where am I going to get this money? Just be vulnerable enough. And the same thing I'm going to tell people, if you have a lot of loans and all these things, just be vulnerable enough. Just go speak. You lose nothing from speaking.
Absolutely.
They can either say no or yes. At the end of the day, if you don't go there, they'll still have made their decision.
That's true.
So please just be open enough and give them the situation you're in.
I see. Thank you
and
so
our
much,
time is up. Thank you, guys. It's been amazing. It feels like we had little time, but we may overrun. But this is me saying my goodbyes, and I will finish with a comment that came through saying, good morning, great conversation, peace of mind, understanding myself and environment, and adapting positively in the shortest time possible. The way the coaches have used the word conditioned were made to me very, very well. Eddie Musingo, thank you for tuning in and for sharing your feedback. Mukali Mary, adios.
Thank you so much, guys. It feels heavy, but also good. So thank you. And for those of you who've shared your stories, the ones that you don't even, haven't shared with anyone, thank you. Thank you for trusting us, and thank you for sharing with us. And all the very best. It gets better by the day. My name is Winnie Lubebe. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.